Hello friends, in the previous video we discussed what is algorithm, how to write an algorithm, how to analyze an algorithm, and now in today's lecture we will discuss how can we solve a problem, how can we develop an algorithm to solve the problem, what are the different approaches to solve the problem. So in today's lecture we will discuss one of the approaches, that is divide and conquer. There are many other approaches that can be applied, that can be used to solve a problem, like the dynamic programming, backtracking, greedy approach. But in today's video we will discuss one of them approaches, that is divide and conquer. So what is it, divide and conquer? Let me tell you first, it is a strategy to solve a problem. So what is a strategy now? The question arises here. Basically, strategy is an approach to solve the problem. So how can we apply it, or how is it applicable? Let us discuss a very common example. If we are having the problem P, and its size is, we can say that its size is, let's suppose, of n, right? So we are having a problem P of the size, and so this size is of the input problem, right? N size problem. So how can we solve this problem using the divide and conquer approach? So now we will discuss that. So using the divide and conquer approach, we can solve the problem. You have to divide the problem. If its size is very large, you can divide it into the sub problems like this. This will become P1, right? So now we are dividing the problem into the sub problems. This will become P2, and so on, it will go till the pk. It depends on the size of the problem, how many sub problems we can divide it into, right? So this was the first step to solve the problem using the divide and conquer approach. So this is basically, we have just divided the problem into the sub problems initially to make the size of the problem very small, because we were having the problem of very huge size. So we have to divide into the sub problems to make the size of the problem small, to make it solvable. So now how we have to solve this problem? Remember this thing, this is a very important factor you must remember while solving the problem using the divide and conquer approach. You have to keep it in your mind that you have to solve the problems, all the sub problems individually, right? So here like this, we will solve all the sub problems individually, right? So we do not have to solve all the sub problems as a whole, but we have to solve them individually. So here, after solving all the sub problems individually, as you can see, we have got the solution to all the sub problems. So after getting the solution to all the sub problems, you have to combine the solution to all the sub problems into one, like this, right? As you can see, we have combined the solution of all the sub problems into S. So we have solved the problem using the divide and conquer approach. So while solving the problem, or just in order to get an idea that this problem is, we can solve it using the divide and conquer approach, or the divide and conquer approach is applicable to this problem. How can we get to know about that? How can we analyze the problem, and how can we get an idea that this problem can be solved using the divide and conquer approach or not? So remember, first of all, you have to divide, the first step in the divide and conquer is you have to divide the problem into the sub problems. But remember, The sub problems you have made from the problem must be the same. Let's suppose if the problem is to sort, then the sub problems must be sorted, right? You do not have to keep both the things apart from each other or different from each other. Likewise, we can say that the problem is about something else and you have divided the problem into the sub problems of something different or something else. So you have to keep the problem and the sub problems on the same page. Both of them must be same. Afterwards, when you have solved the sub problems individually, then we have to combine the solution to the sub problems into a one solution. So it is not like that you have to simply just combine them, the solution to the sub problems. You must be having some approach, some method to combine the solution to the sub problems. Otherwise, you will not be able to solve the problem or combine the solutions, the sub solutions to the problem into a one solution. So you have to remember both these things, that you have to divide the problem into the sub problems very carefully, and you have to combine the solution, the sub solution to the sub problems using some method or approach. Otherwise you will be unable to solve the problem. So this was all about the divide and conquer approach. Yes, we have many more approaches like that, as we earlier discussed, that are greedy approaches, the dynamic programming, but there are some of the problems that can be only and only solved using the divide and conquer approach. So you have to analyze the problem very carefully, and then you have to select one of the approaches which is applicable to solve the problem. So this was all about the divide and conquer. In the next lecture we will discuss another topic.